Power is not granted. It is taken by those who learn to command themselves. When the world refuses to obey, every man and woman who has ever risen above the reach of common struggle has understood this truth, that reliance on others is the first weakness that must be killed. When you depend on the hands of others to build your future, you place your life at the mercy of their moods, their fears, and their ambitions. But when you depend on yourself, you hold dominion over your own fate. You may lose fortune, friends, or opportunity, yet you will never lose power. For power born from within cannot be stolen. The world offers little loyalty to those who need it. It admires strength, not pleading, resolve, not reliance. Look around and you will see that pity fades quickly, and those who ask for constant help are soon ignored. People are drawn to the flame that burns on its own, not the one begging for kindling. To rise when no one helps is not merely survival. It is ascension. It is the act of standing sovereign in a world that feeds on weakness. When the crowd withdraws its hand, that is the moment you must prove that your own is enough. Dependence is a silent chain, gilded and disguised as comfort. It lures you into believing that security lies in others' support, that peace comes from belonging to their circle. But comfort is the enemy of growth, and security built on others' approval is nothing but illusion. The mind that waits for rescue has already surrendered. The one who rescues himself has already conquered. You must become the commander of your thoughts, the ruler of your emotions, the guardian of your will, for no external ally can protect a mind that has not yet mastered itself. The first battlefield of power lies not in kingdoms, armies, or courts. It lies within your own discipline. Each morning you rise either as your own ruler or as your own prisoner. The weak seek guidance in the noise of others. The strong carve clarity in silence. When you learn to act without waiting for encouragement, when you make decisions without asking for permission, you begin to taste what freedom truly means. To depend on no one is not arrogance. It is independence refined into wisdom. It is the quiet recognition that no one else is responsible for your destiny. The greatest misfortune is not the absence of help, but the decay of self-control. Many blame the world for their stagnation when the true enemy sits within. Impatience, fear, doubt, indulgence. To master yourself, you must learn the art of command over these invisible tyrants. The disciplined man is his own kingdom. He does not seek escape from hardship. He bends hardship to his will. He understands that the mind is both the jailer and the key. If he loses wealth, he can rebuild it. If he loses allies, he can earn new ones. But if he loses control of his thoughts, all else collapses. You must become as the sculptor facing raw stone. The world will not carve your image for you. It will hand you the chisel and stand aside. Those who wait for someone to shape them will remain unformed forever. Those who take the tool and strike with patience, precision, and persistence will one day find that their struggle has revealed the figure of mastery within. The stone resists, just as life does, but every blow creates definition. That resistance is not cruelty. It is the process of becoming powerful. Understand that those who rise alone are often tested by the harshest silence. There will be nights when your thoughts turn against you, whispering, that the world has forgotten you. But solitude is not your enemy. It is the forge where independence is tempered. In the absence of praise, learn to draw strength from your purpose. In the absence of support, let your determination become your company. You must learn to trust the power that grows in private, for when it finally emerges, it commands the public with ease. To depend on no one is not to isolate yourself from humanity. It is to detach your worth from its approval. You can walk among people without kneeling before their opinions. You can accept help without worshiping the hand that gives it. True mastery is not the denial of others, but the understanding that they are additions, not necessities. The one who rules himself welcomes allies as equals, not saviors. He listens to advice, but obeys only his own reason. He walks with the world yet remains unmoved by its applause or its rejection. Every era crowns its conquerors, but the greatest of them conquered themselves first. They silenced the urge to be liked, the craving to be saved, the weakness of indecision. They built discipline where others built excuses. They turned solitude into strategy. They rose without assistance, and because they did, no loss could unmake them. The one who depends on no one can be defeated in battle, but never dethroned in spirit. Such a person may walk through ruin yet remain rich in mastery, in focus, in power that does not waver with the presence or absence of others. Rejection is the language through which life teaches strength. It is the invisible hand that redirects you from comfort toward conquest. Most see it as cruelty, as the breaking of a dream, or the closing of a door. But those who understand the nature of power know that rejection is not meant to humiliate. It is meant to instruct. Every time the world denies you, it is forcing you to discover what you can build without its permission. When someone says no, when society looks past you, when opportunity slips from your grasp, that is not defeat. That is the moment your will is invited to stand without support. The mind trained in dependence crumbles under rejection. It confuses denial with worthlessness. But the one who studies life with a strategist's eye knows that rejection is not the end of the path. It is the curve that leads to mastery. The door that closed was never yours. It was merely a test to see if you would keep walking. Those who stop at rejection remain slaves to external approval. Those who continue despite it begin to command their own destiny. It is through denial that you learn endurance, through exclusion that you learn creation. Consider how rejection exposes the true measure of your intent. When everything goes according to plan, it is easy to call yourself devoted. But when everything collapses, when your work is dismissed, your ideas ignored, your effort unacknowledged, that is when the truth of your ambition is revealed. If you abandon your goal at the first sign of disapproval, your purpose was built on vanity. But if you persist, if you sharpen your skill, if you turn rejection into fuel, then your purpose has graduated from desire to destiny. The fire of rejection burns away illusion. Only the pure metal of determination survives. The strong do not chase acceptance, they study rejection, as one studies an opponent. They learn its patterns, its timing, its lessons. They understand that the world often rejects what it cannot yet understand. The inventor, the thinker, the leader, all are met first with doubt. before they are met with recognition. The crowd resists what challenges its comfort. Rejection, then, is proof that you are doing something uncommon. It means you are treading ground not yet accepted, which is the very soil of greatness. The masses do not reject mediocrity. They only reject that which threatens to rise above them. Each rejection is a mirror, reflecting your weaknesses as clearly as your strengths. It is an instructor more honest than praise. Praise flatters, rejection corrects. When your proposal is dismissed, examine it not as an insult, but as intelligence. When a person withdraws from you, study what you allowed them to hold. Rejection cuts through the illusion that others will complete you, or that success will be handed to you. It forces you to build yourself so completely that you no longer require what once abandoned you. In the ancient world, the blacksmith knew that metal must be heated, beaten, and cooled again before it becomes strong enough to endure. Rejection is that hammer and fire for the spirit. Each blow may sting, but it also hardens. The more times you are struck by denial, the more tempered you become. Those who avoid rejection remain untested, fragile, dependent on favorable conditions. But those who embrace it acquire a calm that no storm can break. The person who has been refused 100 times and continues still carries within them a will that no man can buy and no setback can kill. Rejection is the silent architect of resilience. It builds patience where pride once lived. It teaches that time is an ally, not an enemy. It shows that the worth of your vision is not determined by immediate applause, but by your willingness to pursue it when applause is absent. When you are cast aside, it is not a curse but a clearing. The path ahead becomes visible only when false attachments fall away. You begin to see who truly belongs beside you and which pursuits deserve your focus. The sting fades, but the strength remains. Many waste years fighting rejection, trying to prove wrong those who dismiss them. This is another trap. The wise do not seek revenge in success. They seek revelation. They learn what rejection was sent to teach: independence from validation. To need the world's acceptance is to hand it your power. To accept rejection as a guide is to reclaim it. The moment you stop fearing denial, you become untouchable. You see every no, not as a wall, but as a signpost pointing toward a more strategic direction. Rejection strips away the illusion that destiny will arrive through favor. It reminds you that you are not entitled to anything except the right to endure. The world does not owe you entry. You must earn your place by persistence and precision. The doors that remain closed are not barriers. They are teachers, reminding you to build doors of your own. In time, those who once denied you will seek entry into the house you constructed from their refusals. The pain of rejection becomes the foundation of authority. What was once humiliation becomes discipline. What was once lost becomes wisdom. The mind that understands this no longer begs for acceptance. It listens to rejection the way a general listens to a scout returning from the battlefield. With attention, not emotion. Each denial contains information about where your power should be directed. Those who ignore this truth remain trapped in bitterness. Those who learn it rise above the reach of disappointment. The world's rejection becomes their compass, and every step forward, taken in silence and certainty, becomes another act of dominion over fate. To rule others, one must first rule himself. The foundation of all power is internal command. A man may inherit wealth, title, or influence, yet without mastery of his impulses, his victories will betray him. The greatest empire ever built begins not on land, but within the mind. Before you seek to control events, fortune, or people, you must first learn to control the chaos that moves inside you. For no kingdom can stand if its ruler trembles before his own desires. The world is filled with those who dream of conquest, but are conquered by their own weaknesses. They fall not because of enemies, but because of emotion, distraction, and pride. The strong are not those who crush others underfoot, but those who crush hesitation, doubt, and fear within themselves. The law of inner power demands discipline above all else. The ability to act according to reason, not reaction. You must learn to command your thoughts, as a general commands his army with strategy, patience, and ruthlessness toward weakness. Every impulse that rises within you is a soldier. Some serve your greatness, others serve your ruin. The undisciplined man lets his impulses march freely, and soon finds his mind divided, his energy scattered. But the disciplined one chooses which thoughts to arm and which to silence. He knows that anger, when mastered, becomes courage, that fear, when controlled, becomes caution, that ambition, when guided, becomes destiny. Power is not found in the absence of emotion, but in its subjugation. To dominate the self is to turn chaos into order, noise into direction, and instinct into command. You cannot rise above others until you rise above your own nature. The weak are ruled by comfort, by indulgence, by the need to be liked. They are slaves to approval and prisoners of convenience. The strong are those who have killed dependency within themselves. They act not because the world claps for them, but because their purpose demands it. Every decision they make is deliberate, every silence strategic, every move calculated. They know that self-mastery is not gentleness. It is a quiet, controlled ferocity. There will be times when your emotions will try to dethrone your reason. Rage will tempt you to speak too soon. Fear will whisper that retreat is safer. Pride will urge you to prove your worth through noise. This is the inner battlefield. And it is here that victory or defeat is decided long before the world takes notice. The one who rules his temper, his time, and his tongue already commands more power than those who rule armies. The world obeys those who can obey themselves. Discipline is not a chain that binds you. It is the armor that protects you. The undisciplined man chases freedom and finds slavery to his own impulses. The disciplined man accepts restraint and discovers true liberty. To live without control is to live at the mercy of circumstance. To live with control is to bend circumstance to your will. You cannot command others to respect you until you first command yourself to deserve it. Those who cannot manage their own moods cannot manage a kingdom, a company, or even a dream. Mastery of self is not achieved through comfort, but through conflict. You must deliberately place yourself in situations that test your patience, your focus, your endurance. The forge of power is discomfort. When hunger, exhaustion, or doubt visit you, do not seek escape, seek dominance. Let your will become the hand that shapes every adversity into advantage. The body obeys the mind that refuses to yield. The spirit grows only through resistance. Every time you resist the temptation to quit, you strengthen the muscle of sovereignty. The law of inner power requires that you become your own authority. It demands that you question your thoughts as you would question a rival, with skepticism and precision. Every emotion must prove its usefulness before you act upon it. If it serves your growth, keep it. If it weakens you, discard it. This is the art of internal governance, the discipline of turning instinct into instrument. Those who master this art no longer seek external control, because they already command the most difficult empire themselves. In the silence of solitude, you must confront the full scope of who you are, your strengths, your flaws, your fears. This confrontation is not comfortable, but it is necessary. Avoidance is weakness, awareness is power. When you know yourself completely, no criticism can wound you. No praise can corrupt you. The man who understands his own mind stands unshaken, while others crumble under opinion. Such mastery breeds presence, a calm authority that others can sense but cannot name. The law of inner power is not written in words, but in actions. Every small decision is a declaration of control or surrender. The moment you rise from bed despite fatigue, the moment you hold your tongue when anger stirs, the moment you act when fear whispers wait. In those moments, you are practicing dominion over yourself. The mastery of the self is not a single triumph, but a lifelong campaign. Each day, discipline must be renewed, each thought examined, each weakness confronted. The reward is not applause, nor comfort, but something far greater. The unshakable strength of a mind that has bent itself into order. He who dominates himself carries an invisible crown. It does not glitter, but it governs. It is the authority that cannot be stripped away by loss, betrayal, or failure. When storms come, he remains steady. When fortune turns, he remains prepared. To dominate the self before the world is to build an empire that no thief can steal, no enemy can invade, and no collapse can destroy. It is to hold the highest form of power, the kind that begins and ends within. Power is not given by others, it is awakened within. Those who rise when no one helps, who turn rejection into redirection, who master the unseen empire of their own mind, these are the ones who cannot be broken. Every hardship, every denial, every moment of solitude has been preparing you for command over yourself. The world bows not to the loud or the fortunate, but to the disciplined, to those who lead without permission, who build without applause, who endure without witness. When you depend on no one, you discover how vast your strength truly is. When rejection comes, you learn the precision of your will. When you dominate your own spirit, the world becomes your reflection. You no longer chase power, you emanate it. You no longer beg for doors to open, you build your own. Rise not with the help of others, but through the law that governs all greatness, inner power. It is the quiet authority that comes from surviving your own storms, the calm that outlasts every noise, the fire that burns even in the dark. The one who has mastered himself walks alone, yet walks as a ruler, for he has achieved the rarest victory, to be sovereign within.